is due to be held at the Birmingham NEC in February. A similar show is due to take place in Liverpool next autumn, but that's already been cancelled after the city's mayor intervened. Jen Nolan started the petition, and Conor O'Gorman is head of policy and campaigns at the British Association of Shooting and Conservation. Thank you very much to both of you for joining us. Jen, if I may start with you, do you have an issue with children attending or with the event full stop?
My issue is with the promotion of the hunting and killing of wild animals. It is also about allowing children into an event that is promoting guns and knives and the killing of animals. And that's the whole petition actually started. And this show was only brought to my attention earlier this year when they were hosting safari hunting companies. After a huge petition by myself and the band trophy hunting team, the NEC decided to cancel that side of the show. So yes, I do have an issue with children being invited into an environment that's actually teaching them how to about violent blood sport.
Conor, would you like the chance to respond to that? Why should children attend a show like this? What do they actually get from it?
Good morning, Emma. There are a few key points actually here. Firstly, the people running these petitions are animal rights extremists. They don't care about people or animals, and they're actually desperate for attention so that they can spread a toxic message of intolerance and hatred in our society. That's a key issue. And this petition, which has 100,000 signatures, is actually hosted on an American-owned website, and that allows anyone in the world to sign it with a click of a mouse. That includes people calling themselves Bob the Builder and Pizza King. And when you sign this petition, they then ask you to make a donation. And some of the comments by those signing this petition, they're absolutely appalling. I mean, there's people calling for people attending the show to be shot. I think it's completely disgraceful. And if anything should be cancelled, it's actually this hateful petition.
Jen? Are you an animal rights extremist, as Conor's just typified you?
No, I'm an animal rights advocate. I would actually argue that hunting, stalking and shooting wild animals is extreme. I would also argue that inviting children under the age of 15 into a show that promotes knives and guns is also extreme.
OK, so you two are never going to agree on the basics here.
Definitely not.
But sorry, just on the point then of children, Conor, could you come back specifically on that? I mean, what does a child get out of attending a show like this?
Well, we at the British Association for Shooting and Conservation, we work with children of all ages, teaching them about shooting and conservation. Just last week, we spent 3 days in Birmingham teaching children in 6 schools how to cook pheasants. I mean, this petition, we talk about extreme. This petition is extreme. It actually breaches a whole load of policies on hate speech, bullying, violence and defamation.
But just to stick with the question, you talked about teaching children how to cook. Well, of course, some schools still have home ec. They can teach them how to cook. Why do they need to be exposed to a show which is also about the killing of animals?
Well, the whole point of it, I'd encourage anyone who's listening to visit this show if they've an interest in shooting and conservation and the countryside. It's, I mean, recreational shooting is a completely lawful activity for all ages, and actually over 1 million people shoot in the UK. This is not a minority activity. And lots of listeners to 5 Live, I've been a 5 Live listener for 20 years, lots of people listening are people that shoot, and they're appalled.
No, I'm not denying that. It's just specifically, and I will go back to Jen on this, but specifically on the point of children, why start them so young, if you like, with this, would you say?
Well, you could say, why start people, why introduce children to golf or introduce children to fishing? Some people introduce their children to shooting, and as they have for generations. It's a fantastic activity.
And Jen, then just to come in on that, Jen, to Conor's point, shooting is not illegal in this country. You may not like these activities, but we do have a free society. So as long as no one's breaking the law, how do you have a leg to stand on?
I just want to go back to his point about there has been no hate speech, no one's being bullied and no one's being harassed. The facts are there.
But if you could answer, okay, that's fine. You've come back on that. But if you could answer that specific point, what is happening is not illegal.
It's not illegal, but it still doesn't mean that it's right. We should be honouring all life, no matter what species, and we should be teaching children to honour life, not destroy it. We should be teaching children compassion. We're in the middle of an environmental crisis. bringing them to a show that's highlighting how to use guns and knives and, kill innocent animals that are living wild and free. This is what my petition is about.
Connor, is there any part of
I'm
you...
campaigning against that.
Just bringing this to a close, and people will have their own opinions, as you say, at home. Is there any part of you that has any truck with what Jen is saying? You may not like the petition, you may not like, as you view it, the people who have put the petition together, but taking that out of it, can you see anything of what Jen is saying?
Well, I'd like to point out that this is actually Great British Game Week, and I'd encourage anyone interested in fantastic recipes for pheasant, partridge, venison to visit our website. Just search online for British Association for Shooting and Conservation, and shooting's open to all ages. It's Great British Game Week, and I'd encourage anyone.
So that would
interested,
be a no.
I'd encourage anyone interested in finding out
to the question.
Well, Emma, I'd encourage anyone interested in finding out more about shooting to visit the show in the NEC.
It started to sound like interviewing politicians with you two. Jen Nolan there, Connor O'Gorman, thank you very much for your time. People can, of course, look up those various resources mentioned. To my next guest, a rare chance to hear